But Cloud9, if they lose, they're out. No playoffs for them. For a team that everybody still thought and was hanging on to hopes that they were a top 3 team, a contender for Copenhagen, it's a completely different story here, especially with this roster swap. So, again, must-win match.
Starting off on defense, a couple of things going on as far as composition changes and roles, and we'll talk about that for a moment. But for now, looks like there may be a bit of contact from Leaf early on. Not able to land the first shot. Also not expecting the second, and he gets punished for it.
Yeah, a little swap there. As the TP goes out from B-Dog. Really well played for Mata and him to get that kill. And Leaf, not quick enough. So they have a lot more room. Look at it. It's only Vanity on this site, and they've pulled 2 players off of the rotation over the A site. They're still leaning in this direction, though. And as this hit comes on, when it will happen, and I think that's where they're leaning still, Mata's going to get a potential flash from the KO. Oh, no! Vanity peeks, and he gets just completely knocked out of the round. And now they have the site if they just choose to go for it. Yep. Smoke's down, and plant's easy.
Curry, perhaps not knowing where the plant was, doesn't use the Aftershock for Cubby as LG swing back around. That's a prime gaming flaws to kick off this series. Certainly not what Cloud9 was looking to get.
Yeah, and that is going to literally just start off the same story that we saw from the last 2 weeks for Cloud9, where they used to be a solid defensive team, especially in moments like these, right? Leaf, always, when he goes on these aggressive pushes, has a high win rate on those, right? High first kills on these defenses. And right there, that's 2 players down before the site even hits. That's not good.
Certainly less than ideal. Cloud9 choosing not to buy up. The exception of the armor in the hands of Leaf. Does have 2 shots of that headhunter. Should he choose to use them? Meanwhile, Cloud9, as we mentioned, they pushed up a bit outside of Arcade. Hit's not there. It's going to A, and Leaf, there goes 2 headhunter shots. The Classic's not going to do the work.
And nobody else there to receive, too. Mata with the great awareness of the orb tap in Arcade, and he fell right back after that, and that actually confirms them to continue this hit on the A site.
And man, I wonder if Vanity used a stimmy there, because they got back to A quick. Certainly not quick enough to delay the plant. They're in a position where they can fight. You see Mitch is waiting to see if anyone's going to push back around or flank through. Remember, the guns are not ideal. 2 players down to drop, and now you've got the fast lane you have to try to work around.
There's not much to work around there. I think it's kind of open.
Well, the kills seem to be working out okay. At least they're traded back and forth financially. That seems to be all right for them. But Mitch, who is on the lurk, it's the last one that remains. Doesn't have a weapon. Doesn't have any armor. Doesn't have a whole lot of time either. He's going to have to swing around, and this would be nuts.
Yeah, not enough time, though.
Yeah.
And Moose did hear the tap. So, at least he falls down, and LG going up 2-0. We could talk about the comp now, I think. Because while LG did swap to the Neon, that's the first thing I want to touch on. This is pretty that's the only change that they've made going into this. And for the rest of it, I mean, this is the optic comp, right? So they only changed one piece. That's Mata from Raze to Neon. And now they're really set on this one. And the KO makes a little bit more sense. I think just that one piece changing makes this comp all of a sudden really work for LG. And it hasn't been a departure too far away as Cloud9 goes from regression. Inside a tree, finally they actually get a win there. And another.
It's seeming to come in bunches, as that's already a couple of key members down. Cloud9 with pretty considerable numbers advantage.
It's interesting that LG went for that dish control with only 2 players. Usually when you're, use the knife, you have a flash, maybe a fault line as well. But this time it's just the Neon, just the KO. And it gets punished.
The remaining scraps of what was LG make their way onto A. Moose gets the spike down. You've got so much retake utility here on the side of Cloud9. You've got options aplenty. Well, not only are LG outgunned and outnumbered, but they also don't have a ton of health to them. Nobody's fully healthy. It's only Moose that has armor. Dazzle's already fallen. B-Dog had proven to be, pretty good on that chamber, but it's not happening this time around. Perhaps Moose can do something, a bit of delay. Something insane. The second tap comes through. Leaf is already fallen. It looks like it's going to be stuck all the way through. Yeah, they take the fight right to his lap. It was actually Vanity that got it at the end as Cloud9 are on the board.
Yeah, important that they were able to get through that smoke. Otherwise, that could have been really, really weird. But just taking advantage of the reload timing. And also, Vanity just sticking the entire way. I think there was an opportunity there for Moose to potentially have gotten the spike plant, or spike diffuser killed instead, but didn't quite get there. They were all low though, so there was definitely a chance. Now, Vanity going out to smokes instead of Curry, I think that's the biggest thing. Vanity, obviously, it's experience for him, but for me, it's Curry. I'm looking at him to be, and he's shown that he's had versatility, but playing a role, multiple different roles at this point on multiple different teams. I think he's done it all at this point.
Definitely showing he's a player who can wear many hats. See B-Dog again at the beginning of that round, takes an aggressive peek, takes a good bit of damage, but manages to preserve his life for the time being. It's really just, yeah, Mata here who's taken some space up in Dish, and there's nothing to keep him in check right now.
Just clears it out, make sure there's no trademark. That trademark is actually put down in halls. And we'll have a knife. I think that lines over towards tower to just confirm what's in there. And that will actually be important if Vanity gets tagged by it, and I think he did, yes. Zappa falls as well, but the trade on the other side of the map as well in halls. This is getting really weird. Look at Cloud9, they're actually collapsing all around them.
Yeah, they have to be careful. Mitch is going to be the first point of contact. He's going to spot two. He's only able to get one. The problem is that's going to leave the door wide open unless Leaf can get there in time, and he is arriving to the site now. 30 seconds left. LG not able to win the foot race. As again, Leaf is the one expecting. He gets pushed right off, though. The orbital strike comes through to delay even longer, and all of a sudden the clock becomes a problem.
Molly, too. This is so hard to get in.
I don't know that you do get it. Leaf went unchecked down in hell too.
Last player standing.
Oh, he got it.
No shot.
Spike planted.
All right, Curry. Decent transition to the initiator roll, and Moose gets 4 on the round. The Red Bull clutch comes through for LG.
I cannot.
Oh, that was nuts.
I can't believe they even went for like getting through that molly, getting through the orbital strike. There was 15 seconds on the clock at that point. They forced their way through, and they used the ult, which I was in the moment. I'm like, oh man, I mean, I don't think they have a chance right now. That's going off. You see that? That's Moose all the way back, and then he comes in, gets the first two. Vanity is running away. Curry's running away at that point. Wow, that's gotta hurt.
Moose with some unreal performance so far. We're only into the 5th round, and he's already 9-1. Seems to be doing just fine on the smoke roll for LG. You hear the tour de force used from B-Dog at the beginning of the round. Has a shorty to work with too, and things in case things get a little too close for comfort.
Well, honestly, this is still such a dangerous round. You're right about the tour de force no matter what, but the rest of them only have pistols. Cloud9, surprisingly, this is actually where a lot of their wins come from in the last 2 weeks. Has been light buys, eco rounds. They just seem to get these rounds through on opponents. And part of the reason why some of those games are actually close, because a lot of the gun rounds not going in Cloud9's way.
Leaf is playing inside of the range of his rendezvous, and he's going to have contact. The tour de force, as you mentioned, he has to get out. Yeah, that knife pushes him right off. And now there's no command to make things even worse.
Lane on set as well. Mata being really patient there. These executes starting to look good. At the beginning, I think I was seeing, obviously, Mata at that dish round where he died with Tig. But the flank is coming with 3 players right now. B-Dog has to be quick on the uptake. Oh, the TP puts him in trouble.
No way! He's able to get 2, not able to land the 3rd. I thought for a second he was going to do it. The trouble was well welcomed. Vanity's left alone with the Sheriff in that 1v4. He takes one down before falling himself. LG get to 4.
And the execute good. There was nobody there. Forcing Leaf off right away with that knife. I think the meta shifting in a lot of teams picking up the KO, not only just for the Neon, but obviously LG experiencing without the Neon, realizing the strengths that it has against Chambers like Leaf. who get put in one spot on the map to lock down two sides. You can see Leaf was by himself, trademark on Dish. Now we're going the opposite direction right now, and it's fast again for LG. Fast lane up. Here's a classic execute.
You really see what the composition was built for. B-Dog's not able to get anything, but Mod had gone so far up. And narrowly missing that timing. There was a possibility there where B-Dog goes untouched, but either way, the kills come through. The Rolling Thunder's going to follow as well as the spike continues to tick away. It's going to be traded in kind as Moose trying to land the shots onto a hopping Leaf.
He's got another ult. Ridiculous.
There's the orbital strike again, yeah. Curry gets pushed right off as the spike continues to tick. Curry on the tap. Vanity has to play defense, but if it's not the orbital strike, it's the Molly, and now it's Mata who keeps everything back. LG look good, Balla.
Yeah, great call from them to up the pace in that situation. It's now 5-1. They went with the classic, like I was talking about, how Neon on this comp, I mean, those B executes are really, really hard to stop. But after Mata gets this kill, I want to give him some credit here because he is patient. Not only does he wait for Moose to come through underpass, but Dazzle also joins him. So that kill onto Zeppa, really easy because they just have, again, a little bit of patience there. And Curry head in his arms, Vanity as well. Just fully in the dark, okay? But for the newcomer.
Setting the mood.
Yeah. I mean, the mood right now for Curry, not looking good. The emotions shown right there, that definitely speaks to the pressure. I mean, everybody's talking about how this team looks worse since the trade. And I think, obviously, there's a lot of context, a lot of stuff that goes into it. But when you're the person who everybody's looking at and criticizing it, it definitely puts a lot more pressure on you than other circumstances.
Yeah, even if it isn't necessarily your fault, to be honest, right? If that's the easy thing to point to when things aren't going well.
Yep. Cloud9 has gotten a lot of control this round. And the only person is Tig who's going on a purgatory mission. But yeah, on this side, that's not the greatest start for this hit. And Monica,
in trouble.
He gets out of trouble, though. He's still pinched. And they've actually committed the spike here, though, so this is really dangerous. Nobody else has joined him except for B-Dog and Tig, who've gotten through into spawn.
And he seems to have been able to get through to spawn at just the right time. His Vanity's Frenzy's not going to get much else. Now, there is a Vandal in the hands of Curry. Oh, and Leaf's going to get the timing. He's going to get the timing. He's going to upgrade a weapon, too. The problem is the other one fell. So now it's just a Vandal and a Bucky. And a 3v2. And Leaf falls.
That was a fantastic reclear. And now Mitch left with just a Bucky. The reason for it is Mitch has this res. And if Leaf actually walks around and gets arcade control, Mitch can fall back through tower. And potentially bring one back up into this and make this a more even situation. In the other case, though, LG plays ahead of that and flashes through the smoke, reclears arcade, and grabs two for nothing.
Timeout coming through, yeah, presumably for Cloud9 as they find themselves down 5 rounds here in the opener on Breeze. And it's really hard to point to one specific thing that's going on that is going poorly for Cloud9. So I'll turn to this. I think LG have done, Balla, they've done a really good job of changing pace, of throwing different looks at Cloud9 and kind of keeping them guessing.
Yeah, they have. And I think a lot of it comes down from a little bit of mid-rounding. I think back to that round where Moose ends up in a, 1v2 or 1v3 and ends up winning it. That was a...
And he hit 4 on the round, too.
Yeah, that was a late call for them to hit back over towards A, and it works out. Probably not necessarily the best call given the situation that ended up going down, but winning those out definitely keeps them flexible because Cloud9 is coming up with solutions to stuff like that, even though it could have easily gone in their way.
Wonder what economy looks like. I think Cloud9 are a spot where they can buy, yeah. But man, guys on the side of LG, you've got Tig and Dazzle, who are both over 6,000 credits. Money should be all right for a little while.
There's a couple of ults up for Cloud9, and that was a problem when they ended up coming back from that clutch from Moose, because LG had so many ults to respond to.
Here we go.
Only one though this time. They're going back for it, and this time with the overdrive from Mata. Nobody's on the site though, and they're going to go for a full retake, and this makes a lot of sense given the ult situation. Vanity and Zeppa, some explosive power here.
I mean, just look at the line that they've drawn in the sand as they have northern side control, southern side control. They've really established their line of scrimmage, so to speak, and then they push their way out. They take the fight to Curry's doorstep. He gets dropped, but Tig follows. On top of that note, Vanity has that orbital strike. The res is going to come up to give them the numbers advantage yet again. Zeppa also has that showstopper. All sorts of madness if he chooses to use that. Orbital strike. B-Dog has the op, and he drops Mitch. There's the showstopper that we're looking for. Is it going to find anyone? Tries to satchel up, tries to find more space, but there's no one home. They've cleared the site out. Hill's not coming through. Mod has already gotten 3 in the round. And oh my gosh, I was so close!
Just barely sticks it. And they wipe everybody out, but at least Cloud9 get the defuse. Oh my goodness. By the skin of their teeth.
And that required an orbital strike and a showstopper. And then a clutch, insane hold on the molly.
Yeah, Curry just trusting and hoping and crossing his fingers. But I always say this, if that's what it takes, because that was pretty well played all around from LG. I mean, the flash through the smoke where they ended up getting one. Tig overcommits to that. Other than that, that round flawless this time again. Oh! Curry there to trade with Tig. Really holding this down. And they've got the orbital, or the Rolling Thunder to actually push this back really fast. They haven't gotten to sight except for Mata, and he's on an island.
Lighter buy from Cloud9 2, just 2 Spectres, and they seem to be working out as it's only to remain on the side of LG. Dazzle's able to take care of 1, but he's certainly worse for wear. 20 HP to him. The spike's still not down.
There's so many flashes in that situation. My goodness. Now you have this situation where B-Dog is staying inside of halls. Doesn't have an op. So it's going to be hard for him to make a pick, but they're just actually going to try to pinch with the position that B-Dog has. It might be a good call.
Cloud9 can play safe. They still have that alarm bot B. Actually, Leaf is dead. I lied. Ignore me.
B-Dog went early here. And Vanity, or Curry's still looking at it. He's a little aware, but oh no.
Oh yeah, they were expecting it.
And now the problem is, how does he get out of this spot with Spike? It's so difficult. But Vanity ran away. Oh, he's going to be able to get in the sight. This is a great ult. Again, a great situation here for Dazzle to actually convert on this 1v1.
How does Vanity approach this? He's the healthier of the two, but the fault line's going to buy him a little bit more time as he repositions. Oh my gosh. Reloads as Vanity peeks that corner. What does he have? He has that molly, and he's super weak.
Cuts down the angles.
It's going to cut down to the 1v1. 5 HP. He swings out, and Dazzle lands the shots. The 4K. The second Red Bull clutch for LG.
Such good decision-making in that 2v3 situation from LG. The trades don't go well on the execute at all. I mean, just fumbles completely. But B-Dog walks out, gets the 1 kill, gives the space for Dazzle. Vanity starts to rotate a little bit early because he thinks that B-Dog's just, hunting for some sort of kill, some shred.
Right there.
But it's the wrong read from the IGL.
You want to play? Let's play.
Two tour de force is used. There's about to be a duel, and it goes in favor of B-Dog. Cloud9 not finding openers. They're not winning their 1v1s. The clutches aren't going their way. So far, neither is Fracture.
Leaf there just had the good angle. I mean, if he just held it, B-Dog would have walked into it. But he ends up trying to swing because he sees nothing for a long time. And now, that's their only real hope in this round. Everybody else just sticking with the frenzy sheriffs. I mean, it's just an eco.
Go back to that previous 1v1, Bala. We so often talk about clutch, confidence, being a determining factor in fights. The confidence to swing out when you had 5 HP, as Dazzle did, that's just insane, man.
It's funny, too, because like when you're in low HP situations, you have to hit the headshot, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of bolsters it a little bit, but still so impressive.
Cloud9 with a 4-man stack here on B. Relying in the numbers to hopefully be enough of a difference, but with that, they've left A open, and LG's glad to just waltz their way in.
Yep. And this is somewhere where, I mean, even if there was guns here, Cloud9 so far is relying on this, on Fracture, to play retake in certain situations. Most of the time with just ults, but sometimes they just get forced into it. And Tig spots
Mitch there?
Yeah, definitely.
Dazzle dancing around behind the fast lane. Very well done to provide cover here. Just the right time. Cloud9 still hasn't advanced forward. Zeppa's already fallen.
One enemy remaining.
And the rest of Cloud9 follows suit shortly thereafter. A Prime Gaming Flawless comes through for LG as they balloon the lead to 6. And Bala, there are no signs of slowing down.
No, not at all. They Cloud9 won the bonus attempts from LG, and then they won that defuse from Curry. That's it. Every other round has felt very, very good from LG. And again, I was touching on a point right there where Cloud9 is relying on these retakes, but that has not been their strong suit in this group stage. They were very good at it last season, but this season, they're at 29%. That is really bad.
If this is how they choose to play this again, you're going to have to deal with the orbital strike from Moose, and now the null command out from Tig. Leafs in a good spot where he may be able to get something. Mitch shows up at just the right time, too, to drop Dazzle. So that's gone their way. They're getting a couple of openers that they need that we haven't really seen them get for most of this half.
And that balloons their chances here, but they're going to go for a push through the smoke. Mata actually gets one. Oh, two!
He gets a second.
And they're all coming
Mata
through
has the
ult.
ult. He has the ult, but he's not able to land the opener onto Leaf. As Cloud9 gets a 3, and I think Moose dying early on there just really kind of throws a wrench in things. You don't have that overstrike to create space, to buy time, to play around it. And Cloud9 are just able to bully their way past LG.
Yeah, I think that was a read based off of how Cloud9 has been playing these rounds, right? A lot of times they're trying to flank late to help bolster their retake opportunity. And I'm wondering if there's any information that told them that potentially they were aggroing a tree, because that was a chance too. But either way, I think actually Tig's KO ults worked against him, because while Leaf was in a position where he could not TP away, he was also above the smokes, right? So you would expect that to be the angle that they're looking at, but he is just clearing everything, and they get 2 kills right off the bat.
LG call a timeout here after dropping that last round and 2 of their last 4. When you think that they'd won 6 of the first 7, you know, perhaps Cloud9 is finding a little something, or at least LG are realizing there's a bit of pressure that's being applied in painful spots. At least enough to call a timeout here, but we'll see what they do to adjust. Finances should be cozy. They still have that orbital strikeout for Moose, and Mata has his ultimate. I don't remember what things look like on the side of Cloud9.
To keep talking about the post plants right now, there's been 8 out of the 12 rounds, or out of the 11 rounds that we played, that have been post plants. And Cloud9 has only won 2 of those retakes. So huge success for LG in getting this spike down. They're going back to this classic B execute that I don't think has failed so far.
You jinxed him. Auto falls, and with that, the overdrive no longer a factor in this round. But it looks like they're going to continue this anyway, and this hit just does not have the same pop without Neon dashing his way forward. Curry's able to keep him back. Perhaps orbital strike can cause some problems. Oh, Moose and Curry pass right by each other, but the spam through the smoke goes in favor of Moose.
They don't have any re-smokes available after that one for him to maybe grab the spike. I think that's the intention, but it's actually up the stairs. They want B-Dog to have this op right now, so make a pick happen, and he does.
I have the spike.
Yep. He's still not committing to the plant.
He just can't find it.
Waiting to see if they can get another fight. Oh, but the res is going to cause some problems, but Moose goes forward. Moose goes hunting. There's 2 res on the other side. Can Moose find anything else? B-Dog's going to have to hold fast by himself, and he's not able to do so.
30 seconds
Are you expecting Moose? Yeah, Zeppa was. Now they know where he is.
Nice.
He's been clutch before.
Yeah, but they took tower control, so this is going to be really, really hard now. 3-way peak.
And he doesn't have a spike. Knob in the hands of Leaf. Knobs clean syncs up at the end. Cloud9 salvage the end of the first half to get us to 4-8 and get us to a halftime break. We'll be right back. There was a chance for it to get ugly, but Cloud9 made a run at it there in the second half to get us to a 4-8 scoreline. LG really seemed to be in control the entire time. And again, it seemed like Cloud9 just kind of found a bead on what was going on. We'll see if LG read them nearly as well as Cloud9 did previously.
Yeah, I think the last two rounds come down to Leaf putting himself in great positions. I mean, there was the KO round and then that round on Tree where he just completely shuts down the hit before it even starts. Now, go to the defensive side, still a lot of chops here from LG, and on Cloud9's side, they have to deal with B-Dog first. They do. He's gone.
Still healthy, though. Didn't take any damage. Not as able to keep him back with the relay bolt a bit.
Really surprising, actually, that nobody got taken out by that, because that was a great angle from B-Dog. Now, though,
yeah, it was.
They've split the site in two, and Leaf has an opportunity to really work that as an entry point here.
Yes, the entering chamber. Of course. Let's see if he can find it. B-Dog's stunned up. The wall provides some covering. He has to give the space back.
There you go.
Nice shot out from Leaf.
Surprised they gave him enough time to TP there, but to get his cooldown back on the TP, I mean. And the crossfire, he's strong.
Yes, it is, but it seems to be strong in favor of LG, unless Vanity can do something about it.
Last player standing.
It's a tough spot to be in. Now Mitch is left in this 1v2. He's the healthier of the two for sure. Let's see how Dazzle and B-Dog choose to approach this. Aftershock to clear him out of the way, deal a little bit of damage, and Dazzle gets the last. The second pistol goes in favor of LG.
It's both pistols won so far from LG. And now we have to expect, given the last couple of weeks, that Cloud9's about to force here into this one. So LG not out of the woods yet. Immediately. I thought we were looking at somebody on the Cloud9 side. No, they're saving. Okay. Learning from, I think, last week. Wow, were successful in the, okay, never mind. I capped. There's a Bulldog.
A little. It's half a cap. Half a cap.
Yeah, but it's actually something that was dropped from Vanity. So he gets armor. So they're just really going for a Russian buy. in a sense, where just one person, a hero buy, has a rifle. And it's immediately known, so already LG can start to set up a little bit differently against Leaf.
I'm curious, though, how much more LG are expecting. I think you've mentioned historically Cloud9 like to buy up in situations like this. They know there's at least a Bulldog. I wonder if they give them a bit more respect, not knowing that there may be a Stinger, there may be another Spectre, there may be a little more oomph behind that punch.
All the way down through underpass now. They've spread the map so wide. I think they're really expecting a Halls push, but it's not coming right now. Tig, oh my goodness, they just wiped the floor with everybody here. Rifle's still up though, and there's a kill from him.
One enemy remaining.
Just like that, it gets dropped. And Zeppa's left there. You know, you were talking about the push in from Tig. Dazzle had already been smoked off, and he was the one playing up in tower. I thought he was going to be the contact point to try to keep Cloud9 back, but the timing on the swing from Tig was perfect.
Yeah, and Mata as well.
30
from tower.
seconds left.
Both of those guys have been playing really, really well together from the get-go. I think back to the very first kill was them taking out Leaf by this double stack right here. And while there was a couple of missteps in certain cases where they're pushing smokes, I still think that they're high-powered together. And they just shut down that entire underpass walk around. And I think that comes back to not having control of that section. Not being able to peek towards the barrier is really, really difficult to come out of underpass in that case. All the setups are working at that point. Nothing broken whatsoever. We're going to push through this. Again, Mata and Tig through the smoke.
Is there a flash? Is there something? There's a flash. He turns away. The kills get traded 1-for-1. Meanwhile, the spike is going to make its way towards B. The wall is going to provide safe passage, at least a bit, but you haven't cleared out Dazzle. The spike goes down. And of course, it's B-Dog with a Bucky.
That one's dead.
Timing just doesn't work out for him here. The numbers in favor of Cloud9.
Here.
He snuck through. Mata snuck through to tower there, and I don't know if Leaf knows. I think he thought that he was in that wall fast enough. But either way, he has to be aware of the arcade flank at some
Looks like
point.
he's looking right at it, too. Sure, he spotted a shoulder. Yeah, there it is. Mata falls. Moose, again, is going to have to do it by himself. Knows where one player is, and Curry takes care of him. Cloud9 get to 5.
Good round from them, too. To shut down that Halls push, even though the trade doesn't really go in their way. They at least get one kill from it, and instantly, because of it, they're actually hitting that B site.
That's a good spot.
So while, you know, it might look like LG got the better of them, they're on the other side of the map at that point. There's only 2 players inside of B, and one of them just has a Bucky. I know, obviously, it's B-Dog. He has the headhunter to fall back on. An interesting purchase.
And it is in his name. That's what the B stands for.
Sure. Did let him get an off this round. No armor, though. Mata's gotten right under. We saw a lot of this with Baby Day yesterday, and there's a free kill. Yep. Curry trades it onto Moose, though, on the other side at the top of the stairs. So surprising that he's able to actually get back out of underpass. Leaf is not fast on the uptake there to punish.
He's not fast enough to get out of anything there. He had B-Dog coming from one side, Tig and Mata coming in from the other as well, as he was in a brutal spot. And again, we find a situation where LG is able to apply pressure on one half of the map, but Cloud9 has slipped the net and they get the spike down elsewhere.
I really like how B-Dog TP's there out of the position that Mata is filling right now, so that he can hold on to spawn for Tig to come in, and they could hit a 3-point retake.
Hurry and Vanity both have their ultimates. This is not going to be easy for LG, even given the numbers advantage they have. Mata clears out back sight, and the Molly's the first layer of this. How many more layers in do they get in on this? Remember, again, there's the Rolling Thunder, layer number 2. Orbital Strike still in play here for Vanity. And they've got to take the fight to them. I don't know that they can sit back and do this. Yeah, there's the tap. The Orbital Strike draws out. And that should be what expires the time. B-Dog dying there, too, is very surprising.
Yeah, there's so much stopping power in terms of ults there. I mean, just in time alone. I was worried there for a second because Curry misses Aftershock on the spike. But obviously it doesn't matter when you have so much Anyways, Molly, Rolling Thunder, Orbital Strike, round win. Cloud9 start to clap back right now, really reducing this lead. What was 6 rounds, now 4.
Look at the buyout from LG. There's not much of one.
You want to play? Let's
Yep.
play.
Hero Rifle on Moose. Has been the top fragger so far.
Yeah, he's been feeling it. And he's got his ult. Hey, they have 3 of 4 ults to work with
They
here.
basically have 4 guns here.
Finger guns for one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Moose. Phantom. Not able to find anything, but man, that was so close. That could have gone either way. There's the ult. He's able to get 2. Oh my gosh, I thought he got a 3rd, but Dazzle's the one who cleans it up. Mata's still alive and healthy. The Phantom now becomes a problem. It's Leaf and Mitch. No real way in. Spike out of reach.
And Leaf has got his ult. He's looking in the right spot, but he just moves away again. B-Dog doesn't take the angle, though. Patience for him. This is the problem. Once they jump down, he's going to be swinging that.
Standing.
It's almost like he knew what was going to happen. Now Mitch is left alone here. Remember that they did not have much of a buy on the side of LG here. That flick from
30
Mitch was
seconds
rather
left.
nice.
It's B-Dog's actually dropped. I don't think he has an angle right now unless Mitch swings really wide.
I mean, he'll have to get the spike. He can't stay up there forever. Either frags his way through with 17 seconds left, or he drops down, and they're wise not to give him a single
Oh, he escapes.
inch to look at. Ah, did he? Oh, my. That's a second really nice shot onto B-Dog there.
And that's the cue for them to split up and just play the time. Yeah, good shot. Good idea, actually, with the wall as well. He actually makes a lot of that work. But remember, the economic damage really doesn't matter in that situation because LG was basically saving. Yeah, they went for a hero buy, but look at this. Everybody else being able to buy back up into this round after the win. Just playing right under them. Overdrive pops really late and finds 2.
You mentioned that they carry the 1 hero rifle from the previous round. They grabbed another one too.
A big pinch here coming up on the north side. It might actually get Leaf. He has to be able to no, he doesn't have any anchors down, so they get that kill, and now they have full flexibility on how to retake this site.
Yeah, the thing is, though, we've seen this a couple of times. Is they apply pressure, Cloud9 take the rest of the map. Now they're on to A.
Great read there from Mitch to know that B-Dog, last time he got a kill inside on Leaf, he TP'd back into halls, or back into spawn, and Mitch just pushes it. You're right, the space taken.
Note the ultimates again on the side of LG. You've got the Orbital Strike, you've got the Rolling Thunder, things that have been so instrumental in round wins, at least up until this point. They're going to have a chance at it again. You look at Moose, he's having to check back the northern side flank to make sure there's no one coming in. Well, I think they're just going to save.
Yeah, they are.
Castle has 3,600 credits. Tiga's 2,450. I mean, yeah, he's bringing in the op, but are you surprised at this decision?
No. Especially how things ended up going down. Once they got B-Dog down, B-Dog was trying to hang on to the space because he knew it was such a rough spot for him. So he makes that TP, but Cloud9 is there already. And at that point, it's already kind of round wraps, right? You see how slow they were on reapproaching inside of that spawn to get back onto ropes. I mean, Tig, even in the final moments, he's knifing close ropes to make sure that nobody's pushing.
So we have a technical pause coming through. Sorry, continue your point, Ball.
Yeah, I was just... That was Cloud9 reading the situation really well. But I also think that LG is going to be more okay with going for a save in this situation right now where they're up 11-7 because they're so close to match point.
Yeah.
Even though this half has not necessarily been, crazy successful from them. Obviously, Cloud9 has not fully narrowed the gap yet. But they just think, we just need 2, right? So let's just play this passively. Let's make sure that we have enough money on enough guns to continue to play multiple gun rounds. And eventually we should be able to close this out. With ults on our side, I think it's a good plan, but can't let them get complacent.
Cloud9 seem to have been unable to, at least up until this point, surpass the 4-round deficit that they've been trying to work through since the first half. Ball, I want to go back to what you were just mentioning, because in a lot of ways, roll with me here, okay? The nice thing about technical pauses is we can get a little crazy. LG feel like the safe girlfriend, right? That you're willing to bring home to meet your parents, right? Hang on, hear me out. I know you're giving me that look. All right, I see it.
Like
hear
some
me
ranch
out.
dressing analogy right now. That's
Hear
all
me
I'm
out.
saying.
Nah, come on, man. It's way better than that. Hear me out, okay? LG have shown willingness to be patient, and even in like their individual micro decisions, right? Think about B-Dog not peeking Mitch up on drop when he was on tower, right? Like, they're so patient. They wait things out, and I think that's also indicative of how they approached the end of that last round. They're like, we're like you said, we're close. We're only 2 rounds away. Let's just play this safely. We're going to keep guns. We're going to keep money, and really lean into that. That's what I'm saying. It's not the risky, right? It's not like... It's not the dangerous girl that you wouldn't introduce to your parents.
That got really deep
one.
there. I mean, you're talking about qualities of
was that
your partner.
too?
I mean, patience. Yeah, okay, Doug. We know what you value, but I think also people value the flashiness, right? So
It's more fun.
And I also think that in a game like Valorant, the flashiness, the risk is the type of plays that end up beating good teams like Cloud9. It's going for hero plays. I mean, the 2 clutches that we've seen from Moose and Dazzle were hero plays. That's part of the reason why this is such a devastating scoreline going into the half. And still.
But those were hero plays that they had to make, though. Right? Like, they didn't intentionally put themselves in that spot. As we see the tech pause wrap up. Back in around 19. Cloud9 full stack A. Or B, excuse me, on the northern side. As Leaf goes hunting down low. Oh, this is
the same setup, but they're wide here outside of underpass, right? So a flash could be a swing from Mata and a swing from Tig as well. Could get a lot, but again, they're so wide that if anybody dodges that flash, they could easily trade this back.
Moose has to be careful here. He's the only one playing on the other side of where Leaf is working his way up. Satchel their way in, and Tig drops him! Zephyr doesn't find anything. Now the orbital strike is going to drop through. As members of Cloud9 are left in tatters. Look at Leaf, look at Curry, they're so weak.
They're stemming back through underpass, and now that Leaf has fallen, they're running their way back. All the way towards A. B-Dog is going to be here to receive. He's got the op.
30 seconds
And there's only
left.
1 smoke for Vanity. Where does he choose to use it? On top of rope, so B-Dog has an angle.
Had an angle, now he's going to deal with a massive ice block, and he's not able to land the shot onto Mitch. The 3v3, but Moose is the one who picks up the op.
Turns out to be a great choice, that wall from Mitch. Still available. Good trade, though, from Curry. They don't have the ults to play this, though, like they did last time.
3v2, Curry providing a little bit of cover. Dazzle and Moose are going to have to do this thing themselves. And again, the layers, you see the post-plant layers that Cloud9 are able to set up. This time it's not the Rolling Thunder and the Orbital Strike or anything else. It's just Aftershock. But my goodness, it might not be enough. Curry, he's got 20 HP, but Moose is sticking the defuse, and Curry gets the 3rd as he stops the defuse and gets Cloud9 to 8.
There we go. 1v3 for the newcomer to Cloud9. And over and over, he's actually making himself valuable in those situations, right? Missing the spam, but slightly moves over to the right, says, hold on, I think if he's not getting spammed here, maybe I can just find his shoulder.
1 enemy remaining.
Dazzle almost gets him, though. 20 HP. Remember, this is a round where, I mean, chaos ensued on the B side, and they rotated around late. I think that comes down to B-Dog. Again, not taking a risk, right? LG starting to get comfortable.
Oh boy, that's going to be a problem. The showstopper from Zeppa as he tries to find something. He's only able to take care of Tig. And he drops the Orbital Strike too. Provides some space, but look at the, oh man, B-Dog at the flank, and I thought it was going to be a problem, but Mitch was wise to it. Cloud9, they've gotten past this 4-round deficit that they've been trying to circumvent the entire game as they're now only down 2.
And that was, again, they're just relying, LG, on the same setup that has gotten them 1 round, I would say, right? I think it was the anti-eco for them. And since then, Cloud9 has been wise to it, right? They're spreading wide on Arcade. They're taking it from both sides and walking into it willingly. In this case, yeah, they fully spring the trap. You saw the relay bolts come out from Mata. You saw the flash come out from Tig, but instantly they respond with their own trap. Zeppo pops the ult and just goes straight up for tower, and then there's the orbital strike as well. Expended on the anti-eco, though. But fully, I mean, 4 players stay alive, and LG calls the timeout. Have to figure something out. Moose has gone quiet this half.
Cloud9 have won 5 of the last 6, as you see here, and they've fully taken control of this. Bala, you mentioned that it seems like LG are trying to go back to what has netted them some shred of success.
One round. I mean,
yeah.
Shred is definitely a good word to describe it.
Something different needs to come out here, man, because it's just not working. They're not able to keep climbing back.
Yeah, but in a timeout, it's the exact same. I mean, look at the setup on B. Thankfully, Cloud9's not going in that direction. They're going to have the B-Dog op on side of Halls.
Curry's here now. B-Dog no longer holding the angle, at least the initial one. He's going to push his way forward. You've got to note the utility out from Curry if he chooses to use it.
He's holding some really passive angles today. Never re-clearing. And it nets him 1. So you would expect sometimes maybe there's a flash in from Dazzle for him to take a little bit more space. But his patience pays off. And finally, they've broken the tower arcade setup that Mata and Tig were running so many times, but it looks like they're going to try to creep back into sight. So trying to hold against this hit that Cloud9 is putting together.
He just gets a little too far out. You hear the no command come through. Spike still on ramps, and Mata hasn't been clear. Tig hasn't either. Oh, but Mitch does it at just the right time. 3v3 here. Leaf still has that op. The spike is on B. Hasn't been planted yet, and you can see Dazzle's having to scurry all his way around across the site. Now you've got the Sage Wall you have to deal with, limiting the retake possibilities, and Leaf, he's awake.
He's awake and really find the gaps. I mean, not the prettiest. Moose obviously overpeaking there in this case where he wants to put the molly down. But Mitch putting them on this wall late almost solidifies it yet. Again, going for the save. And this time it's really, really meaningful. B-Dog needs to keep this op in his hands. Because that might just be the saving grace. Nothing else so far is working. They're getting worked on multiple sides. Especially towards that B side. And I expect Cloud9 to continue to push the pace and the issue.
Teleport's gone.
B-Dog getting hunted. That operator that you mentioned he had to save, the one saving grace, is no longer around. B-Dog falls, the operator does too. Finances for LG look dire.
It's worse than dire. Because they don't even have any of the economic bolts coming online in the next couple either. I mean, B-Dog is 2 away from his tour de force. So
Yeah,
maybe in the last round he could put it together. I mean, he will have it for sure in the last round. In the case that Cloud9 goes to 12.
Dazzle with the hero rifle. He's got full armor, 2 points away from the Rolling Thunder. He's got the Pocket Guardian here holding down this angle. Steps just on the outside of the fault line. Very well played to get back to safety too.
They pushed Arcade this time, so have to deal with that trip, and they actually... That's coming in. B-Dog has to get something else. No, Moose falls.
Yeah,
so I was thinking Moose, if he stays alive, gets back into spawn, something like that, he might be able to smoke it out, but instead, Cloud9 now knows that they took the north side. And Tig is honestly already noted, I think.
Yeah. Flash, the turn.
Oh.
Spam goes a little wide, and boy, did those shots go wide too. Thing is, you still have the rifle in the hands of Dazzle. They're keeping Tig back. They're doing such a good job of it. Right.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. It's all on to Tig. He falls. We're tied up at 11. That's unreal.
I said this wasn't the prettiest. That's starting to look like an understatement. That was ugly. That was really ugly. Unfortunate.
Yep.
And now LG, they're done waiting, right? They had all the opportunity in the world to close this game out, and now look at them, tied up with Cloud9, with money not on their side. B-Dog does have the op. Did get the tour de force online in this last round as well.
Different setup here as B-Dog is no longer holding all as he's actually set up at B. And it's Mata who's been tasked with trying to keep back Cloud9 in front.
Does have the relay bolts to slow down and push through halls, but the one inside of sand is going to be the one that Cloud9 chooses and much more difficult for Mata to do anything against.
Dazzle dropped his Rolling Thunder, and it may have split them up just a bit, but they're still at safety. They're still not threatened by anything.
Great smoke.
The exception of Moose. Yeah, Moose was there! And Modic's able to get one too. They funneled their way in through halls. Can LG keep them back? Leaf gets one with the Headhunter. As Cloud9 fall to tatters. Curry's left in this 1v3. The spike is not in his hands. It's deep behind enemy lines. He has no armor.
And up top too, so he has to go up on top of Plat. That is very difficult for him to do anything, but gets the orb. That could be, no, 4 pips away from it. So I was thinking maybe if he goes around, farms the rest of the orbs, maybe he'll have it for the next round, but not enough time for that anyway. So has to go for it with the kill route. 30 seconds and
left.
they're just sitting on it.
Well, he has 7,700 credits, so might as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a crack at this thing. And it wasn't much of one. Moose, off of that, gets his orbital strike online. The op is still in the hands of B-Dog, and he's got the tour de force to work with too.
But what sigh of relief LG has got to be taken. Mac right now is breathing. For the last couple of rounds, he was not breathing. The coach of LG has got to be happy about this one. They get to match point. They at least get overtime. But they still have problems. That round, Cloud9 goes for that sand pinch onto A, and Moose does the great job, finally gets the 2 kills there on front of his smokes, delays the push. But now we're falling back to the same old. B-Dog, though, is actually joining the arcade push, so it's not exactly the same.
Mata's rotating his way through mid. You see some presence up in Dish. It's just enough to get Mitch his res. And they rotate right back off.
The crazy part about this situation is B-Dog looks to get another opener, is that LG have actually gotten the last 5 opening kills.
B-Dog's gonna have to get one here, and he does.
Make that
And that's big.
Make that 6.
Moose only has 1 smoke left. He used both of them early on. One of them off of the ult being grabbed. The ultra being grabbed by Mitch, so that's all they have left to keep back any sort of advance. Cloud9 may throw their way, and Zeppa still causing problems. He's still instilling doubt in the minds of LG as actually the spike is rotating his way.
Yeah. And we actually just saw both Mata and Dazzle peek inside of A halls, not spotting anybody there. So they have plenty of freedom to stay inside of halls, and if they do hit this A site, that is all of a sudden a spot that Cloud9 has been so successful in holding the post plant. Gone.
Seems like they're comfortable playing for retake. The one thing to note is that Leaf is the one on the flank, and he's going to have to get this kill onto Mata, but Mata wins that duel out. Now they can turn their attention towards the rest of the onslaught that's coming their way. You see the jump up as Zeppa gets a couple into the back of the head. Oh, Dazzle's not able to close it out, but Mitch is left alone in this 1v3. And I thought it was Mata who was going to get it, but it's Tig who closes out Fracture. 13-11 in favor of LG.
Yeah, that was a close game, and I think LG has got to be kicking themselves for letting it get that close in the first place, because over and over they're getting themselves an advantage, and then the round ends up going the Cloud9's way. But Cloud9 definitely, after the beginning of that game, I thought they were not going to show up. I thought that they were going to leave their playoff dreams at the door, but thankfully they come back and at least make it 13-11. Now, they've still got a ways to crawl, but that was LG's map pick. We're going to Icebox next. That's Cloud9's, and things I think will get interesting, because last week, Doug, we saw a weird situation from LG on this map.
Let's just go to break so we can get back into map 2. We'll be right back.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play.
one out. They go for the double swing, but it's still Dazzle that shuts it down.
That Zephyr, he somehow gets that one. They're still just running it down onto the site.
After a bit of a nail biter there, Luminosity managed to walk away with the win 13-11. And by the way, guys, I'm seeing all of those team and salad dressing comparison tweets, Dust. That has to feel good knowing that we have made a positive impact on the internet in some way.
Yeah, speaking of positive impacts, I saw such one from LG that actually you're going to give them a little bit of an upgrade here. We talked about how they were the ranch dressing North American Valor. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade them to the LG style hot sauce.
Wow.
Quite spicy.
That's a good one. Oh, man.
Does like the spiciness level depend on like how well B-Dog is playing on a particular day?
Yeah, a few extra scorpion peppers went in there for old B-Dog.
Well, I'll tell you, B-Dog was playing damn good. We'll jump into all that in a moment. But Mimi, LG, I think like what they did so well is that they just kind of allowed Cloud9 to kind of have this comfort to do their thing. And then at a certain point, LG was like, okay, great, now it's our turn. And it worked really well multiple times. You could see just that confidence on their retakes was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, the confidence on the retakes, but even going further back in towards the first half, the way that they were playing in their post plants was impeccable. There were so many of these rounds with Neon, this one in particular, where they just charge the Neon on and get that space on the site. Cloud9 is the team that's comfortable in playing the retake, but where this one gets a little spicy is that B-Dog is holding one side. He falls, and Cloud9 actually start this round really well into a 5 versus 3. What else you do great is this re-aggression when they find themselves in trouble. They realize, hey, there's an ult coming, a Rolling Thunder inbound, so we just get off site. We wrap back around. Moose goes through the underpass, finds 2 picks. That nets him. The orbital strike here. There's still breach utility up towards heaven, and it's planted in a perfect position to be able to win this one out. LG won 13 out of 17 of the post plants during the map between both sides. They were impeccable at the post plants. They were impeccable at the retakes, and so many of these rounds, and also just the insane amount of clutches they were pulling off, managed to get them such a favorable first half.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud9 had to fight tooth and nail for any inch that they got in that first half. I mean, heck, Curry had to have like a last-second defuse when it looked like things were going right, just simply because of how good LG were at disrupting Cloud9 in those situations. Again, I like, how Mimi shows that it wasn't about just holding onto the site. It's about taking ground and disrupting Cloud9. Don't give them a foundation to launch up to get back into the site. If Cloud9 wants to play that strategy, fine, but we're not going to let them. We're going to go and get in there and destroy the backlines. And I think that that's something that LG persisted with and also came strong to close the game with as well. I mean, it looked like Cloud9 were making a little bit of a comeback there. To their credit, they were getting some good attacks off, but LG, kind of took a timeout, kind of toned things back down, and then wound up getting the ones they needed to close out in regulation.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that was the switch to Neon. The pace was really good for Luminosity. It allowed them to create so much space in towards these post plants, and when they were leaning into the retakes, just some great breach utility. Mata sends himself on in. It creates so much space for B-Dog to find those big moments.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you mentioned B-Dog. We mentioned him as well at the top of this. B-Dog versus Leaf was something that we were looking at. And, I think just B-Dog in general, you really just felt like he had a huge impact on this game, especially shutting down Zeppa a few times. We were seeing that come to fruition quite a bit, Dust. And it really just felt like B-Dog could just do whatever he wanted to do. Not to take anything away from Leaf, though. I think both players, played to their potentials this game.
Yeah, I think if we had another setup here for B-Dog, it would be the B-Dog paddling Zeppa rate, and that would be at an all-time high. Like, he just did not let Zeppa get any space and really get anything done. And, I mean, that's really been kind of just his forte really throughout this entire group stage. I mean, he's, right now number 3 in ACS overall for the stage, but he also is number 3 in first blood success rate and is up there in first bloods per round as well. I think he's tied for second in that. So he just continues to be a consistent factor for LG in these early round situations, and then the rest of the team can kind of come into the fold to help them close things out in the post play.
Yeah, and in that second half, talk of the early rounds, I think Leaf was actually doing an impeccable job. Once the operator was in his hands, he found so many openers for Cloud9. They did well to convert, and they were pretty solid in those retakes with the breach utility. I thought the role was looking pretty good for Curry, but the issue still cropped up. LG held their nerve. They already had such a big lead that it just took one extra round, swing the momentum back in their favor. And I mean, the biggest round in that one is where they pull out the Neon ult, get 2 kills off that on like the first eco that they had to take that game. That was a big heartbreaker for Cloud9, and then it was just too few rounds to give up at that point.
And well, maybe C9's luck will turn around here, because we're going to set our sights to our next map, because with that conclusion, up next is going to be Icebox. And to kind of allude to what Bala was talking about before, looking back at last week's games, Luminosity versus Evil Geniuses, I mean, let's not beat around the bush here, folks. Evil Geniuses gave Luminosity the pounding of a lifetime. What was it? They dominated, I think, what, 10-2 on the EG attack. Like, it was not pretty at all, Mimi, for Luminosity. Now they're going right back to the frozen tundra, and I'm just a little worried about them here. We could very realistically be going to game 3, which we said is not something Luminosity wants to find themselves in.
Yeah, I know maybe some European players and coaches might get a little mad at me for this take, but Reyna's just not that good on Icebox, in my opinion. They ran her last week. I feel like the composition had so many failures compared to where most teams are taking the meta in this current patch. It's a lot of the fade. It's a lot of kind of leaning into the breach and the utility in that regard. That's what Cloud9 has been doing. They've been running this duelistless comp that I think has worked really well. They stomped Optic with it. On the other side for LG, it feels like they reverted back in time with bringing out that Reyna.
Yeah, again, the big worry for me with Luminosity is we're starting to see what agents they want to bring into the fold. Now let me kind of pick that up. It's just their overall success on Icebox regardless of the composition. They've lost their last 6 out of 8 games here, and their 2 wins are over BBG Academy and then a double overtime win over FaZe. So it's not like they really have the resume that really kind of strikes your fancy. Meanwhile, Cloud9, even while they've had some struggles with overall series victories since Curry's come into the fold, they did get a pretty big win over Optic in week 2 on this map, and overall have always looked pretty comfortable on Icebox.
No more Reyna. Thanks, Luminosity. I'm happy about that. Mata is really excellent on that Jet. I think we highlight B-Dog quite a bit. People forget about how great Mata is. The Jet works well for him. He can create that space. Either of these players can op. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the double op pulled out. A lot of teams have actually toyed with it on this map. On the other side for Cloud9, they are sticking with that switch up. Vanity going back to the controller, which means Curry is on this KO.
Yeah, it's interesting to me too, because I know that KO was like the one initiator that Vanity commented on that he actually felt comfortable playing just generally, and then also felt comfortable calling from. So maybe this is more just to kind of create some consistency for Curry and just kind of get him back to playing the controllers that he feels stable on.
Yeah, well, lots of things to talk about going into the game. Thankfully, we don't have to do it that much longer because we got 2 casters standing by that's going to drive us through the action. You got Balla and Doug on the mic. Over to you guys.
Thank you, Golden Boy. It all comes down to this, potentially, for Cloud9. They turn their way over to Icebox, where they potentially face season-ending loss. And, Balla, you and I were chatting about this map, a bit beforehand, and you said that you felt pretty good about Cloud9 making a run at this and getting us to map 3.
Yeah, I think so far they're undefeated this stage on this map, and I think it's a place where LG has shown a little bit of weakness, especially last week. However, LG has reverted back to not playing Reyna on this map, and I think everybody's breathing a sigh of relief. But most importantly, I think they're reverting back to the same comp that they ran last season. They ran at the beginning of the season. And we'll see how it goes right now. B-Dog and Mata, obviously, those are where we're looking for. And also to note, this is where Cloud9, even with the Curry swap to Viper and playing on this team, still beat Optic, right? And kind of battered them, actually. So this is a strong map for them.
Yeah, but that is interesting because I think the reason, some may say the reason they looked as good as they did was because Curry was still on that Viper, a pick that's very comfortable for him. We talked about the change from controller to initiator for Cloud9, and again, it is Vanity who's on that Viper, so we'll see how it plays out.
Okay, look at the mini-map right now, and you might not be able to tell the difference. Vanity is literally in B garage while the spike is going down, so identical to how Curry was playing.
There's a tiny gap in the wall. They push off of the Prowler, but my goodness, Luminosity don't seem to mind about whatever's been thrown their way. Leaf and Vanity are left. You've got the Molly there to provide some trouble, or at least try to, but Dazzle gets it to half. Have to finish this thing off, though. Vanity goes aggressive. He's able to get 2. 15 HP, though. Vanity gets 3. Gets him in a 1v1, and I don't know if there's enough time for the defuse. Vanity with insane heroics. Oh my gosh, there's no way! What is that round?
That is the most back and forth round I think I've ever seen.
I think I'm sweating.
Oh my goodness. We go from Cloud9 just walking on the site, getting it pretty easily. Look like they're in a great position to play the post plant. They're spread really wide, to LG getting 3 kills as they approach. 3 kills right away. And then Vanity with the massive flank gets the orb up, the Molly on the spike. Even though it gets halved, he comes through with 3 massive kills. And there we go.
Yo, Loki, I don't how Mata didn't land a single bullet onto Vanity. It looked like the barrel was literally touching him. That's how close they were, but there must have been a massive gust or breeze that pushed the bullets off. I don't know.
Well, that was a massive success for Cloud9 right now. They've actually got to deal with the setup here from Dazzle up close to the shorty. Hopefully, Vanity does what he did last round, which is really, really late lurks, but Zeppa's joining him, so I don't think that's going to be the case. They're going to walk into this, but meanwhile, they've got the split down, so ooh, player coming behind.
Tig. Oh, Tig gets nothing. Oh, that's brutal.
Push it instead of waiting in this case, too. So, lose any chance of getting and converting anything on that as well with that impatience.
Nah, I mean, I would have pushed it. If you were Tig there, you don't push that? You push that.
Tig, absolutely. No, I'm not talking about Tig. I'm talking about this part right here. B-Dog.
Ah, yes.
Dazzle was it.
Last player standing.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're expecting them to have somebody holding this yellow area and maybe try to push up into yellow when they go for a mid split. That's usually the case. Maybe there's one person. I mean, in the past it's been Sova with a drone. But yeah, at least one. The other thing to note is while we've had the controller switch from Vanity and Curry, you're actually kind of used to seeing Tig play Viper in a lot of instances and also play controller, and he hasn't been able to play either of the map so far because Moose is stepping into that role. And yeah, that actually is a change from previous games.
Mind you, Moose did quite well on the controller in the previous map, on the Brimstone specifically, but you're right, that is an interesting note on the change.
And Tig has been a prolific controller player in the way that he can be ratty. So missing that is going to be interesting. I think on defensive side specifically, he's been really, really good at finding openings.
Yeah, Leaf's starting to hit some of the shots that we were perhaps seeing him miss at the beginning of Fracture. He swings out and finds a second. Note that this is a gun round for for Luminosity. You still have the op in the hands of B-Dog. He's on the opposite side of the map, though.
That's a good pick. Definitely going to even this back out, and you can see the deficiencies of this wall right now. Just take a lot of space to walk through.
Oh, no way.
He escaped.
Tig, you're a madman. How much more can you find? He's getting the heal. The drone is going to give him some info, and now Dazzle's going to try to do the same.
They have a wall.
Getting spammed through. B-Dog's not able to land the shot with the op. It's a 3v3. Time running low, and there's Dazzle's wall. Oh, but it breaks through.
And not only I think his feet were visible there, but also they just spam right through it because there's still so many players alive that that wall loses its value a little bit. Cloud9 starting off really strong on this map, and I think this is what we expected. My worry here for LG is that if they don't do well on this map, they've just now gone to potentially just dominating on Fracture to almost throwing it to getting stopped, and that has got to do number. I mean, I'm getting way ahead of myself right now, but still, Cloud9
it is worth noting, though.
Good.
Yeah, that's certainly something to keep in the back of your mind as you think through how teams approach things from a mental perspective. Luminosity with not much of a buy here. You've got the Marshall in the hands of Dazzle and the Stinger for Moose. A Prowler pushing Mata back.
No punish at all on this orb take from Mata either. So he's going to definitely keep trying to steal that on these eco rounds.
They're just waiting for some sort of aggression or some sort of early space being grabbed from LG, but
I mean, they pushed it last time, right? After the mid split. So
yeah, that's true.
In two places, both mid and B lane. So definitely a good call. I was getting a little worried how they're going to clear him out of there, but no, doesn't matter. Nice peek from Leaf as well. Doesn't see anything backside. B-Dog has taken the angle now, but plan was to fall away the entire time anyways. Any info that could have gotten would have been nice, though.
$30 seconds left.
How much can Dazzle find here with the Marshall? I don't know. Okay, Tig has shown up. He's got the Sheriff. Nest. Not able to land the second shot. Good bit of damage dealt, but Tig gets one with the shock dart. Still healthy enough to fight. Well, he was. Zeppa's able to clear him out, and yeah, you see the gun difference there for Cloud9 was just too strong, and while LG made a run at it, they dropped both Mitch and Curry. That's all it was.
I really like the consistency that they're going on these anti-ecos into a mid-split. I think that's somewhere where you can really force the gun advantages because you're spread thin between holding the B lane and holding mid, typically. And in this case, they go a little bit towards A, pull some rotates off of mid before hitting that. And it makes it really easy to work with. Obviously, things got a little scary when the shock dart was coming in from Tig on top. And Marshall from Dazzle as well coming in from the backside too. But either way, it's going to be something that LG now has to think of. Even though they're on anti-ecos and eco rounds for themselves, they're thinking right now, Cloud9 is really, really working the mid late in these rounds. So how do they actually maintain control of that situation?
Only one spotted with the haunt there. The Prowler's not going to get to Dazzle.
This is a great push from Mata. I don't know how he got all this space, but just walked up with the wall.
But this goes back to what you were talking about, Bala. It seems to have been mid-B-long splits, and it may not be a mid-split this time. There's no presence there, but it does look like they're going to try to go middle, and Mata's going to.
Yeah, look at that alarm bot, too. The trademark is way away. It's in middle. So they're not going to know. Yeah, he could slip through. Hello?
Oh.
Did you just not notice it was on top of the box or what? I mean, he just triggered it right then, so Cloud9 knows.
May have missed it. But they're going to try to push through. Look at him. They're trying to take the fight straight up to what LG had, and B-Dog's able to fend them back. You hear the 100 Fury come through as Dazzle's trying to stay alive back there as well. Now Mata on the flank. Zeppa with a massive shot. It's going to take a whole lot more to get through this round. B-Dog with 3, courtesy of that op. As LG finally find a round.
Now, I'm reconsidering. Obviously, I think it was a mistake for Mata to trigger that alarm bot, but the way that Cloud9 pushes, I think, is a result of actually realizing there's somebody on the flank.
Yes.
Because they try to take more space than they would typically. They try to go for the Navi strat, or DRX is running it a lot. Optic has picked this up a lot, where they're walling off the backside of site and pushing Snowman. And that gets punished easily for LG. They deal with that without, losing pretty much anything.
Well, I think that could have easily been flipped, though. If B-Dog doesn't land that first shot and whoever was pushing him back in Snowman, they might crack that thing open. So it did take a big play out of him, but you're right. They handled it well. Yeah, Leaf used that Tour de Force, too. You mentioned that orb, and that has been part of the key to which they've been able to find success across the middle of the map. Interesting spot for this alarm bot, too. Mata finding nothing.
Yeah, that's multiple rounds now. He's gotten picked outside early.
Face your fear!
And with this Nightfall coming down as well, it's going to be hard for anybody in the backside of site to do anything without being able to know where the hit's really coming from. But Cloud9 doesn't even commit to it. He made the right play.
Yeah, and the interesting, too, is B-Dog ultimately falls, but LG didn't really take many steps back with that Nightfall in their face, with the Prowler that was headed their way, too. They try to hold their ground. But while that was happening, as you said, while the spike was already out, it was rotating towards B, and it's been planted.
Leaf.
Take us an op.
I love that peek from Leaf right off the bat through the wall, and then now also just such a massive angle. So LG already saving, already picking up the weapons to got the op back, you're right. And Leaf is hunting again. And the thing is, okay, no, I actually thought that somebody was holding the cross on the other side. They're not. And that leaves Leaf to hunt without them knowing whether he crossed back or not, and they're really hunting. I mean, every single player has gone from the spike right now.
And he's got to be careful, though. There's someone in spawn that's covering Tig. Dazzle spots him. He's not able to land the initial shots, and he ultimately falls. Tig trying to keep that up. No, not able to do it.
This is such a good start from Cloud9. They have planted every single round. We're going to see it on the timeline right here.
Better not be wrong.
Those elimination wins are still plants. Every single round. And that speaks to how their game plan is working. I mean, they're pulling LG on so many different levels everywhere. I mean, that round, again, can't stress enough the importance that Leaf pushes through that wall on the rope and gets an op kill. Is so cheeky because at that point, LG's already in the Nightfall. They've already been tagged by that. They can't hear anything. They're deafened. And when that falls, they end up looking and there's nobody past the wall. They're like, oh, they're running away. They're faking. And then right when they start rotating, Leaf finds the timing.
Here.
I look to B-Dog here right now because Mata is trying to get aggressive on these pushes. He's trying to find entries, trying to give them an advantage. And there's the replay that I was talking about, that Leaf push through the rope. But
Well, it's filthy.
B-Dog is not taking any space. In comparison, it's the same thing we saw on Fracture from him. Very passive on this chamber. And if we go to map 3, which it looks like we will right now, we'll see a completely different story from B-Dog. He is so aggressive when he plays on the Jet.
The thing is, too, to go back to Fracture, even though he may not have necessarily been aggressive, B-Dog was hitting some of those opening shots.
For sure.
It just hasn't been the case here.
I think on Icebox, when you take the passive angles, you're in some cases putting yourself in a position where you're not going to find anything.
Yeah. Cloud9 again showing versatility and diversity in how they approach their attacking halves. It's fast, it's slow, it's mid, it's B. Doing a really good job of keeping LG on their back foot.
And again, not getting that one. He was deep in that corner. But tries to hold a passive angle and has to TP away. Cloud9 has forced him back. I think that one might have been due to a knife from Curry. So he has to TP
a
away.
passive angle. Leaf has the height advantage. He drops down. The flick's not going to land. You see the null command come through.
They're faking it again. This is now twice in a row. Cloud9 going for fakes and it's working in spades.
30 seconds left.
Dazzle trying to find his way back to the middle of the map. Curry falls, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. But soon enough, they're going to understand that the spike is being planted on A. There comes the molly. Itch stays alive. Doesn't hit.
Poison's off.
No flank concern as Curry finally falls.
Revealing area.
It's a high one.
How do you get in? Just gonna have to try it anyway. The Prowler goes up top. You're gonna have to get through the Viper wall that's up, and then the Operator in the hands of Leaf that's holding back sight. The mollies, everything dumped out on there. And then Zeppa's still there. Mata's gonna have to go ballistic. He's able to get 2 tickets, one as well. And they get the defuse.
He was so high up on that one. The dart from Tig early on actually forces them back. They don't break it. And they're all past the halfway point of pipes. In that case, Mata has all the room to work with. I don't know where he updrafted from, but I'm guessing that was from Nest. Double updraft. And I mean, that's such a hard flick to hit if you're any members of the Cloud9 side while they're also working on. This is it right here. Gets up on top of the rope. And yeah, updrafts. Woo! There goes that boy.
And Leaf stopped it from being worse, to be honest.
But at that point as well, you finally have Dazzle coming in with the wall. That knife just barely missing. Oh, this is weird.
Yeah, that...
I've never seen that ult actually go halfway on top of the 410. So he has a gap
like
on the
there's a
back side.
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they find enough space to work their way through.
And look at
see Moose playing in there.
This is such a great ult. Look how it's actually pushing all the way inside of the place where Cloud9 wants to be. They're going to go through the pipes though, on top of the ropes.
Leaf was the first one to try to get through, and Curry followed. They were both met with their demise. Mitch a little bit weaker. You see him flirting with the wall, but as soon as the wall goes up, Mitch's body goes down. The spike is going to follow too. Tig trying to reposition from backside, take care of Zeppa, and he does. Vanity again is going to have to do it himself, and he's not able to as LG get to 3.
Such nice play from Moose in that situation. And honestly, it feels like the rattiness has transferred from Tig to him. That was such a good ult. And that one I think that Cloud9 was expecting. Look at Curry and Leaf trying to get through it. And then Curry's like, hold up, there's a spot where I can fight, but Moose is ready for that. And he's able to have a pocket on the left side of that. Really, really good stuff. Anybody who's swinging through that, by the way, Mitch, is decayed by a lot because of how far advanced that ult goes.
Interesting different lineup to get the poison orb down, and the spam comes through as Leaf tried getting behind it. Was unable to do so.
He would have met Mata too, so Mata now has a chance to go for something here in mid. And he's gone for a lot. In some cases, chewed off a bit more than he can chew. He could peek with his drone.
It's a pretty big bite on the other side of that tube. Mata.
What a
It's
wall!
actually Curry who decides to go forward first.
Actually, I thought I saw a wall from Dazzle, but no, I thought he actually used it to stop anybody from approaching because he didn't have his dash. But B-Dog, again, this passive angle that I was talking about last time, this time Vanity just walks into it. And LG have come alive. Looking to take the 4th round right now and get close to even things out, and I think they will.
No charges left.
It's still pretty early, but I have to mention again the stat that you dropped earlier. Ball of Cloud9 undefeated on this map.
30 seconds left.
And LG, they're starting to push him around. They've found some of the tendencies to which Cloud9 like to play their attacking halves, and they've been able to expose them. And then it also, to go back to the passive angles that are being held by B-Dog, he's starting to hit those shots, and I think that's a key difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only B-Dog, but
10
specifically
seconds
Mata. All right, that last...
Knife him.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Save the gun. Yeah, I mean, specifically, Mata was losing so many of those early fights, right? And all of a sudden, I think that's 3 rounds in a row now where LG have gotten the first kill. Yeah, 3 rounds in a row where they got the first kill, and I think Mata has 2 of them. And even in cases where they already get one, I think Tig got spammed in smoke in that case. They're able to capitalize on good setup. What?
Ah, shot. That's insane.
10 seconds
Left.
Wait, did Mata see his gun barrel?
Run that back. Was he in tube?
Yeah, can we... No, not that. I think
Okay. He was on top of it and just walked right by. So anyways, we're into the 10th round now.
No, for Cloud9, a Spectre, a Stinger. Make that 2 Spectres, excuse me. And it looks like Tig might try to go hunting across the middle of the map. He's got the drone. Try to find some info. He's not going to spot anyone. He will understand that the space is clear, though. As Cloud9 try to get onto A, the spike is just out of reach, though, and they've got the Viper's Wall that could perhaps provide some cover. Zep is tucked back in, but the shock dart from Tig is gorgeous. Just the right time. That was preemptive. That landed as he was tapping it.
Yep. Again, another first kill. Right into the post plant again. Vanity has an opportunity, maybe. He gets a couple kills to drop. Nope.
Ah, that would have been massive. Tia gets 3 on the round, starts off with the shock dart, 2 with the Vandal, and then the defuse at the end. Or, excuse me, it was Mata who's going to get it. The Hunter's Fury is online. They have... Their LG are in a great spot to take the lead back.
Yeah, they really are. 2 rounds left in the half, and things are really starting to work on a lot of levels. Cloud9 will call the timeout and try to figure out something else. And since these rounds have started getting strung together from LG, Cloud9 has been trying to make certain approaches that have been working, where they're able to counter Mata, for example, pushing in an early spot, but not finding the same success.
You know, it's situations like this, Baller, where you really see an IGL prove his worth. Right, when you had momentum, you were calling the attacking half really well, and then you just kind of run into a brick wall, and the brick wall happens to be LG here. But these adaptations, this is where Vanity really shines. What play does he call? How deep does he reach into that playbook to stop the bleeding, right? To get momentum going back their way. Look at how comfortable of a lead they had. They were up 5-1.
Yeah. It's a hard...
To potentially get it 6-6 or 7-5 even almost feels like a loss.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it would be. It's tough to call in these spots because LG is not doing anything outlandish, right? It's very basic plays. The mid play that they had that 1 round. It's hard to come up with some sort of set play that will do anything, and I think this time they've got a mid split onto A instead. cooked up.
Yeah, but the pings on the minimap just a second ago were pinging all the way through out of the back of A.
Not looking for that lurk. They're calling an audible.
Nightfall's not going to hit anyone.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know if Moose got tagged. He didn't.
Well, he must have after falling off with that wall. Again, there's an ult here. Vanity's going to put it down. There's Tig's ult, though. And if he finds, yeah, Curry's gone immediately. Can't play this
Leaf on the
round.
late lurk, though. Oh, he's so patient. Unable to get the second, and the res brings Curry back up. Numbers back in favor of Cloud9. And Leaf is going regressing again. He's going to try to test the middle of the map. Have LG short of those defenses there as they try to spam through the Viper's pit. Tig backing up as Mata falls. We asked what kind of play Cloud9 would call. That one.
And the Nightfall got a lot of value there, even though it didn't necessarily tag somebody, although I'm not sure if Moose did get tagged on top of the screens there. I don't think he did. Either way, it clears the site for them. That's the most important thing, is the info that it gets. And because of that, they walk on. They know there's nobody playing there. This means Leaf's flank is going to be massively impactful. And they get the ult from Vanity down for free.
Who will I spot first?
Play around it perfectly, even with the Hunter's Fury out from
You
Tig.
want to play? Let's play.
Cloud9 take the lead back. You hear the Tour de Force come through as LG not satisfied to play back or to play passively this time. They're pushing their way forward, and Cloud9 drop them both. Oh, but Tig perhaps can find something here. He's going to drop a drone.
All up to Moose right now.
Forward. Yeah, and the null command stops that instantly. Moose has to give the space up. He has to preserve his life.
Nice jump. Following it up. Good movement from him, but he's going to get... Oh, dot punish from
What a
Vanity.
flick.
Spike planted.
The flank as well from Tig. He's gone for it after that drone without spotting any information, and that has pinched all three players from Cloud9 on the site.
There's nothing to keep him back. It's going to have to be Zeppa holding that angle himself. Tig, he's got to dart back up. Doesn't use it. The flick is there, but the trade comes back instantly. 2v2 here as Curry's still playing down back site. Boost with 16 HP. He's not going to get it either. As Curry cleans things up, Cloud9 get to a 7-5 half. We're going to break. We'll be right back.
Switching sides.
A 7-5 lead for Cloud9 as we enter the second half of Icebox. LG made it competitive at the end, but Cloud9 off the timeout find their footing and take the lead right back. Now we see Luminosity on the attacking half, and it looks like Bala, that's going to be hit right up the middle of the map.
Yeah, it is. And Has got the orb and a molly as well, so this is for sure going to be something fast here. Actually, they're backing up a little bit, potentially trying to get away from this knife. And it's used on A, so they're going to slow walk this instead. And this is what I was talking about, using the Sova on the B lane when you go for a mid-split. I'm curious where they're going to use the wall from Dazzle, though. Is it going to be typically in the mid spot? Zeppa's got his Prowler. Are they going to dodge it? Yes, they do.
Yes, they are. Wow. And now Mitch knows. Oh, he doesn't feel comfortable getting the timing down on the wall. He has to give the space back up. Leave, that was a seize there that tries to keep them back. And yeah, Vandy's able to capitalize on that and take care of Dazzle. Mamada trades it back. The ult's been picked up, or the spike has been picked up. Excuse me, Curry! Not able to land the shots. Moose wins that out. Oh, and it's a foot race towards the middle of the map. Back to A. B-Dog wins that out. Have they taken care of Zeppa? Yes, they have. B-Dog gets 3 on the round. LG gets 6.
And that's now the 3rd pistol round for LG. And that was a great one. I love that. Sneaking past the Prowler. So well timed. Avoiding the knife that wasn't thrown at them anyways. And then forcing so much utility. Making it look like they're really going to hit through Kitchen. So everybody's falling back over towards the bridge near Snowman. Vandy's looking down the lane. So is Zeppa throwing that C's. But instead, they just pivot back to an A split. And it works super, super well.
All set up.
Early knife again. Same spot from Curry. No info gathered. But this time, Mitch has crept all the way down tube.
And there is no counter buy from Cloud9 either. So this should be a round for them. Leaf, Headhunter, really deep Snowman though. Could cause problems. How do they clear that out? They're waiting for placing this wall.
There's really no, I mean, he's at a place to be able to play safe. He has no rendezvous or anything like that to get out of. He gets pressure, but he's so far back, as you said. They should be able to reposition. The Sage Wall goes up, the mollies to deny the plan early on. Up. Oh, that hurts. Now they try to take the site back. Again, you see that knife. It was used at the very beginning of the round by Curry. It's just up in time. Try to help them take this site back. Remember, they only have pistols. Mitch is the one exception here who has a shorty. The fight for back sight continues. You've got the Prowler. You've got Slorbs all over the place. And Curry on the other side of the splash. He pops through the wall.
They called out that.
Tries to provide quick cover as Mata stays alive.
Oh, they walled out the spike.
Shock Dart kills Moose. There's a little bit of friendly fire there, but that's all right for LG as they tie us up at 7.
I was getting super nervous there. Sorry for stepping over you, but that was... They did not note that wall down for so long from Mitch. And that got really close. I'm not sure if we'll see the defuse timer on this replay. But they got it past half, like 3/4 of the way before that wall got broken. This was close. And he could have shut that down. I think it was Vanity. Could have gotten the kill onto the player who was pushing past him. So that could have been a round 1. And I've seen way too many defuses stuck.
Just this weekend.
In the past 3 days. And I'm so happy I didn't just see that.
Probably would have been on cue for us, though.
I think I would have left. I'm not going to lie.
LG tie us up at 7. Shorty in the hands of B-Dog and a bit of a light by the rest of the way. Curry dropped an early knife again, not in the same spot. But I mentioned that only because we've already seen a couple of rounds where he's able to use it instantly, and the round delays for so long that it comes back up and it becomes a problem again.
And somehow,
there's that knife again.
It is important to note the buy from LG. Because of how bad that round went. It is a rough bonus, but B-Dog did get his op up, and now Moose losing his life without putting a wall down is going to make things difficult. But it does give a lot of room for B-Dog to work his magic with the op. He's just not here with his team, though, and that is going to cost them, I think, as Leaf has such a good angle with the TP as well.
The Star Duelist for Luminosity falls. No entry out. No ability to speak of. Leaf is still playing down low. The Haunt tries to give him some info, and while Leaf knew someone was coming, he wasn't able to land the shots. Now 9 seconds left as the spike goes down. Prowler's going to show up a bit late, but again, there's no punish, there's no swing.
Yeah, but the punish
Big is still able to tuck.
could be B-Dog. He's got that tour de force out, don't forget. Oh, the knife! Oh! It just missed!
Oh my gosh. I think it got cleared out. Yeah. Either way, he still has it up, and he has too many targets to look at, and there he is, able to settle on one. But not able to get much more. Zeppa's going to get the defuse. Cloud9 take the lead back.
Oh my goodness. Around that, yeah, should have been very, very, easy for Cloud9 to get the buy, but again, they put themselves in a position where they give up the spike plant to Luminosity. And we're starting to look again at a lot of post plants going in this case. And we do have a good buy from Luminosity this time. No op though in the hands of B-Dog. Not going to be a major factor. Okay, there might be some miscommunication going on here on the Cloud9 side. There's nobody at the A site right now. There's nobody at the A site right now.
Seems like either timing or they wanted to play retake, but you're right. Either way, they've got some presence mid. They've got a whole lot of presence B. That's really where all of their eggs are spread out.
Putting up this dash early also indicates to me that they want to dry walk this the entire time. So I don't know how LG has made the read, but they have.
Prowler's going to clear out mid-map. No one's been spotted, but they have that alarm bot there, and we'll see if they try to smoke it out or clear it out or do something to try to delay it. They don't really have any bit of utility. It gets cleared out, and off of that instantly, you see Moose start to take a step back. Make sure there's no flank coming.
Simplifying B-Dog too, so good. All the way in the site, try to get aggressive.
Cloud9 starting to work their way forward. Vanity, the tip of the spear. Amada's gun barrel gives him away as Vanity's able to find one. Tries to snap onto the other, but no, Amada pushes his way forward. 6 bullets left as the flick is clean. But that's all it is. Zeppa still alive. He's got the Nightfall, and there it is. It's going to start to push something back. Vanity has his ultimate too, but do they commit?
One enemy remaining.
Oh, he's able to land the clean shots. Mooses as he gets 2 on the round. Deafened, it didn't matter. They're tied at 8.
And there was definitely an idea there, but the plant from LG really good. They just called the perfect strat against the Cloud9 gamble in that case. Nobody on the A site, and immediately they dry walked and took so much space. I think there was a tell there, though, for LG that Cloud9 missed, which was Moose put his wall down immediately in this round. Whereas every other one, he's been holding on to it until they decide a site to hit. So the idea there to Nightfall and hopefully potentially try to stick a defuse when they can't hear whether it's going off or not is clear, but that plant spot, great for LG.
The frenzy, right, wins that. Shots go very wide there for Moose.
Oh, it just saw
He was
so
just
much.
alert. Do they reconsider here? Yeah, it looks like they do. They got the Ultor, but they're backing on up.
And again,
Hazel has his res. I wonder if they try to rotate back to get the res.
yeah, definitely an idea, especially because Moose still has that wall in another round, right? Where Moose commits the wall early.
Yeah.
Another note, though, against this buy from Cloud9 is they picked up a gun. LG have been 100% this series on anti-eco conversions. This one's looking a little bit more dicey.
You've got to clear Mitch. Surely you don't try to keep this, right? The res to swing out as they try to lull him into thinking it's a bait, but Mitch repositions, is able to drop another one. There's not going to be any res on that. This B-Dog trap, who's been left, gets the kill onto Leaf. They were able to draw out the Viper spin. I wonder if they're going to rotate back. B-Dog has to stay alive here.
Curry just made a play.
He cannot fall.
This timing, so good from him. He knows that B-Dog is cross and he's going to get him in the back. Oh. Beautiful stuff.
2
from Curry.
frenzy kills. 2 frenzy kills against Rifle. B-Dog falls, and now the attack from LG is left in disarray. Which way do they go? B's not safe, A's not either, with 14 seconds left.
Half time.
Resorting to plan Z, really.
Good mollies and bang. They're going through it, the wall.
It's just not, oh my goodness, are they going to be able to get the spike down? No.
Where's Zeppa? He's in the middle. Oh my goodness, there was a moment there. As the Viper Spit fell, he jumped out. There was definitely a moment. But for the first time in the series, Cloud9 has pulled off an eco against LG. And surprisingly enough, because Cloud9 has been really good on ecos so far in groups. more so than they have been in the past, and more so than I think a lot of teams in this group stage. But it's not really netted them success in this group stage.
And those type of rounds can be so backbreaking. You hear the Tour de Force, the Blade Storm, nobody giving Mata a target yet. Zeppa was wise to play low. Mitch is about to get her jet in his face. Again, the wall's not able to come up, but Mitch's Phantom drops Mata.
That's 3 rounds he's attempted to do the same thing, or LG have attempted to get the timing onto Mitch. I think twice it's worked. And that time he's aware of it. And it's only, thankfully, Mata on him, able to deal with the Blade Storm to jet.
Zeppa here with 4 players on the other side, and I don't know if he's wise to it. Zeppa falls. Vanity now understanding where some of the pressure is coming from. You also have Leaf with the Tour de Force. He has to reposition, understanding the rest of the onslaught's not coming that way. Perhaps Moose can find a kill. He can. How do they respond? Just like that. But the hit's going over to A.
Hitting a wall here. And the Vanity wall comes just in time right now. It will cross through. But this Molly is great. A lot of damage done onto Dazzle. No follow-up, though. So
no heal either from Dazzle. Command through. Now they push their way forward. Vanny's going to be able to pinch in a little bit and cause some problems too. B-Dog's stuck. There's no way out from this. He's going to have to take the fight as Tig's up in Nest. And he's able to find two massive kills. Vanny with 30 HP is not going to be able to do it. We're tied up at 9.
a reminder, Cloud9 is fighting for their group stage life. And this is their map pick. Already down 1 map. If you're just joining us, they lost Fracture by 2 rounds, a 13-11 game that went the distance. LG looking to put them away right here, right now. Not rely on Breeze.
That works.
And it's down to an eco round. Hero buy again from Cloud9. Leaf with the rifle. Dropped by Zeppa. Tig is usually here to be able to put down a drone and fight back the B lane if they do want to go for it. Still plenty of time for them to rotate around, but really they're expecting a push from Cloud9. It's just not coming.
Playing on Knife's Edge, both of these teams are, as you see. Just waiting for anything to be shown. Leaf, waiting. Dazzle. Foot's giving him away.
And it's all up to B-Dog now, actually. And Tig to work in tandem to try to find a pick on this A site. Curry's in the back, only a Frenzy there. They're moving away from the Vandal. Good call from LG. Dry walk it again. Will it pay off this time? They try to punish in mid. Here's Curry.
Fragment to try to buy some time, to try to buy some spaces. Vandy's wall goes down. Now the pop flash. Doesn't swing. Note that Leaf's Vandal. The thing is, the delay has been so long that now the Vandal has shown up, but Curry and Zeppa have already fallen. 13 seconds left as they try to get the spike down. Mata doing his best to do so as Leaf rotates down and he gets dropped. Now the Viper's Pit becomes a problem as Mitch with 1 HP, not able to get anything going. LG take the lead back.
And they lose 1 anti-eco, but not twice in a row, they say. And I have to give credit to Tig. What a monster in that nest position. Consistently finding kills in the back of sight. Over and over, he's shutting down the fast retake from Cloud9 that has been working well from them. But LG have really scraped together a great game, and they find themselves in the lead, I believe, for the first time in this series. Or in this
right.
in this map.
In this map. Yeah, Cloud9 calling a timeout here. Making his weight as you feel the weight of the moment grow. Cloud9 down 1 round, potentially facing a season-ending loss.
And you have to think again what that hero buy costed them. because Zeppa dropped the rifle to Leaf. And yes, it found themselves a first kill, but not the round. And Zeppa's going to have a weak bye here. Economically, that decision is going to haunt them. Vanity drops the Phantom over to Zeppa. What a selfless person. 18 and 15, he's making that decision right now with his season on the line.
It is trust in your playmakers, if I've ever seen it. Here we go, round 20. In the books, Leaf. We're just on the other side. The swing is there. Amada with the flick. Magnetic looking as Leaf falls.
And that head-to-head battle has been super interesting to watch, both between Leaf and B-Dog and between Leaf and Mata. Leaf is playing great, but against two players who are consistently bringing the fight to him, it's tough to come out on top.
Cloud9 trying to find any info that they can. You see Curry's trying to peek his way out of kitchen, see if there's anything coming mid. But again, it's a dry, quiet take. The orb goes up, and you wonder if that's enough of a cue to cause a rotate. No, they're patient. Vanity spots one. And again, you still don't really necessarily see heavy rotations. Now they start to come through for Cloud9 as Mater tries to get a height advantage. The orb is going to provide some cover as the spike goes down. Dazzle's able to do so. Note you also have the Hunter's Fury out from Tig. So he's got to be able to stay alive here. They've got him covered. He's well nested here. Protection on all sides. Cloud9 in a pretty brutal spot here. Mata playing up in heaven. Kills have to go Cloud9's way, and then still that's not necessarily enough. The tap brings the Hunter's Fury out as Vanity and Curry able to get a couple of big kills, and now LG members start to fall as Cloud9 continues to push forward. B-Dog's gonna go massive. The one, the second, the flick is there. Tig's left alone. Just 1v1. No, Curry's not able to get anything. He's running for the fences. LG get to 11. Unreal. Unreal out from LG to balloon this lead again. Paula, I think it was you who said in the previous round that's the first round lead, or the first lead they've had all map.
Yep.
And it seems like they're trying to put Cloud9 away.
Oh, they definitely are. They're hungry. Talked about the mental difference of them almost losing that first map. And then to come down, what was it? It was 6-1.
Last player standing.
Excuse me, 5-1 at the beginning of this for Cloud9 in the lead, and LG has brought it back, and they look to be closing this out. Again, the economic implications of the earlier decisions right now has led them to have one rifle in this round, and the rest are ecoing.
Hands a Leaf again, and he's going aggressive. I don't know that they're expecting this level of aggression either. The alarm bot's not going to spot anything. Leaf gets a timing on that, turns around at just the right time as Zeppa and Leaf have both fallen.
The star duo of Cloud9 gone in this one. Mitch, Curry, Vanity left to hold the hopes high for Cloud9, but heads low in this situation because another first kill in LG's favor.
And Curry and Vanity just with pistols here. Mitch has a stinger, and that's all it is.
Curry tried to hold on to the back of sight last time, you remember, against B-Dog's flank in the eco round for them. But once again, LG make the right dry walk, and the wall comes down. You saw Vanity and Curry running away trying to stack a sight, but they make the wrong gamble once again.
30 seconds left.
Try to throw it in reverse. The wall goes up.
Did you just get a spam? Oh my goodness.
Dazzle's trying to get the res back onto Mata, and he does. You see the utility dumped all over the place, denying the plant, and effectively so far, but now Tig has shown up. He's not able to get much else as the frenzy continues to cause problems for Luminosity.
14 seconds.
15 seconds left. Mata's got to get a big kill here. 1, 2, the flick is gorgeous. The transfer's there. LG gets a map point to series point.
The playoffs point. Group B will be locked up if LG win right here. We will know who is going to playoffs. And Cloud9 have relied so often on the hero play from Leaf. Feels very much like champions. Feels very much like Cloud9.
You want to play?
Draft Dash for the first time. They're going to challenge fast inside this lane.
Yeah, and Leaf was there. He was expecting it. He tries to go down low, and Leaf has to get away. There's too much before him. Curry's able to find the opener. Again, Cloud9, stage hopes on the line. As the wall keeps him back, I don't know that they're expecting Curry. Oh my goodness, they are. 2 shock darts in his lap, and Moose gets the last. Body, head as Curry falls.
What a drone.
Again, we see a spotty, or LG just cut noise.
He just saw 2 players inside this lane, so right now they're concerned whether this hit is going to have any success. We've got the TP here from B-Dog. If you can find a shot, that'd be huge, but I think he wants to eventually walk away. Or he's trying to catch the rotates like we've seen many, many times. Vanity just ulted on the other side, the wrong side again.
And this is where you see the denial of information become a problem. The silence is devastating. It's deafening. As now Mitch tries to keep them back. He's only able to get 1.
30 seconds left.
Oh, and LG, it all falls onto Vanity. Again, he dropped the Viper's Pit, but he's all on the other side of the map. The leader for Cloud9 in a position to have to pull off an insane 1v3 to keep them alive, just to extend the map. Vanity creeping forward. No utility left. Might get a timing on the Tig, but Tig not giving him anything to look at as Vanity has to so precariously, so dangerously check every single corner. Spike ticking. Time not on his side. Molly to provide some space as Vanity taps. Boost down to 1 HP, and it's all it's going to be is LG win this one out. Cloud9 fall.
And LG make it to playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. Group B wrapped up. And we're not seeing Cloud9 with a chance to go